Well, good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody.
Happy Father's Day.
As absolutely, or as we say in my house, happy Holton's Day. All right, happy Holton's Day. I want to wish all the fathers out there a very happy Father's Day because I think we need to at least relish in this moment. And if you're on the
Relish?
yeah, we have to relish in this moment.
Why relish?
Did you see television today?
No, I haven't been on television.
Has anybody seen television today?
I mean, what's the significance of seeing television?
They're already running ads on what to buy for Mother's Day. So
Wait, don't be a hater.
No,
okay?
I'm just saying
Don't be a
they
hater.
are already they're already talking about what next Mother's Day theme is going to be about. Father's Day is not even over. Christmas is not even here yet. And it's already talking about what we're going to do next year for Mother's Day and what's going to be the trend. Anyway, happy Father's Day to everybody who's out there. And if you are out there right now, we'd love to see where you're from. If you are a first timer, we want to see that you're a first timer. We want to see that this is your first time to this show. And I see a few of you who have actually decided to come back, which is good. We're already getting stars. People are already giving stars. They want this budget increase. I want it too. Thank you, Sabrina Hunt. 100 stars. I appreciate it. I've seen some others as well. Lenny said he hadn't seen TV. Lenny, I'm telling you, they're already starting
Holton,
marketing for Mother's Day.
Don't start. That's not true.
It is.
It's not true.
Matter of fact, here's what she told me. On Father's Day, what you should do for Father's Day, what we should do for Father's Day is take her shopping.
I don't see what I said was wrong. What was wrong with what I said?
It's my day. It is
Didn't
mine.
we go to brunch for you? It's okay.
But you ate too.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I gotta eat. So.
Right, but you didn't feed me. I fed myself. So
Yeah,
that was like going Dutch.
Okay, well, I mean, happy Father's Day, honey.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, Carolyn, thank you for the stars, 100 stars. Judy, hold on. Big spender alert. Big spender alert. 1,500 stars from Judy Reyes
Judy.
already. Now, let me ask you a good question.
Yeah.
I need to ask the Boone Foundation, can I keep the money from these stars?
No, for Father's Day?
Yeah.
No.
No, for me.
No, they go to the Mother's Day fund.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna see if I can get those people a refund on their stars. How can we refund?
No.
How can we
No, they go
refund
to the Mother's
stars?
Day fund, so.
Yeah. So, you guys may be noticing our background is a little different today. So we're in a different locale right now. Needed a change of scenery, so I decided to treat myself on a Father's Day special.
Oh, you treated yourself? That's how you're gonna.
I booked the trip.
Okay. No, okay,
I put it on it's on my card. So I treated. I decided where we was gonna go. You didn't make that much of a
but you work
contribution.
for me, so I even though you use your card, I'm gonna be paying the bill.
You know what? Okay, next time some problems come in, I'm throwing them right your way. That's how we're gonna do
That's
this.
fine, I can handle it. Listen, Queen Bee full in effect.
Okay, you got, it's my day to see today. You should have a fan right now. I'm a little warm right now. You should have a fan.
I should have
a fan, like, one of those. I'm not talking about an electric fan.
I'm a fan, you okay?
I'm talking about one of those fans where you do like that.
I'm a fan you cross this balcony.
All right, and I'm talking about right now I should have some water. I don't have any water. My throat is a little parched.
No, your throat is not parched.
My throat is a little parched. Stop it. I've got a parched throat and I feel like my skin is a little more, shiny. I should have a wet cloth.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
So you see exactly how they treat us on Mother's Day. We roll out the red carpet.
That's not true.
There's flowers everywhere in every brunch. Everywhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, how did you get into the world? If you came through to this world,
my daddy saw my mom and said, hey, listen.
No.
Can I holler at you for a second?
You came in this world through a vagina, okay? So I'm just letting you know that is why.
That is.
Mother's Day is more important.
Don't bring that word up on Father's Day.
Yeah, I can say that on Father's Day.
Oh, I don't want to start a competition over here, but I appreciate all the stars. Linda, thank you for the stars. Tim Lambert, who's been on every episode and also contributing to the budget of 1,600
thank you, Tim.
stars. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So who's that? Maria Magana. Thank you for your stars. Even the stars, the mentions, the likes. And guys, I'm not pressuring you guys to send stars, but send them. Send them. Go deep down into your purse. Like wherever it is, you want to do some online shopping, right now is the time to do some online shopping and send those stars out. Okay?
Well, I mean, and they go to the Boom Foundation. Tell them what we do with the stars.
What we do with the stars. All right. So the Boom Foundation, here's what happens with the stars. Anytime you send stars and hit that button and create some stars, it actually shows that you're making a contribution to the Boom Foundation, which is a foundation charity that we started back in February of 2019. And what our whole goal is making sure that we not only put a dent in malnutrition of underprivileged children, but we really do what we can do to eradicate it. So last year we fed nearly 5 million children or 5 million servings of nutrition to kids all around the world. We helped build some recreation centers, parks, and all this kind of stuff. This year we have a goal. The goal is over 10 million this year. 10 million. I believe we'll do 15 million. People keep giving stars like this. I appreciate it, Betty. I just see Betty just put some stars up there. Jennifer put some stars. Is that Zar or Zatarsha just sent 200 stars. I appreciate it. DeAndrea, D sent some stars. All right, everybody's sending stars here. I appreciate it. But that's what those stars go for. And if there's any like stars left over, I get to go and
no,
I don't get to go.
No,
and buy me a Father's Day gift.
Nope. The board has to vote on that, and
the board has to vote.
Yeah,
I need a manicure. Can I just grab like
nope
2,000 stars and go get me a manicure? All right, I would like to have a manicure anyway. But anyway, guys, I'm happy to have you guys on here. All of you fathers that are on here, we appreciate you. I think there's an auction or bidding war that's starting. All right, who's that? Shalonda, simply the best, 1,800 stars.
Oh, thank you, Shalonda.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I think I now have enough money to go get a manicure. Yes, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, keep them coming because I need enough money for tipping. I need to tip my manicures. And then to get a pedicure as well.
I'm gonna give you a tip. So let me give you a tip. Look both ways before you cross the street. That's a good tip.
This is why I use Vibe so I don't have to cross the street.
I'm just telling you.
Touche.
Before you cross, look to your left. Look.
All right, I have a question. I have a question for our viewers today.
Okay, what? You get one question on Father's Day.
I get one question on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the question I have. You guys know, if you've been with us for a while, that we had our attorney and judge over here take us through a university course on apologizing. Right? Y'all were there. You were here.
Of which you learned nothing.
And so if you got on the call last week early, you heard me, because we keep it real. And I said, she got on, she says, hi, everybody, with that phony hi. It was so funny.
It was phony.
It was so funny.
I wasn't saying hi to you, but the phony, the hi was real to everybody else.
It was real to everybody else.
Exactly.
So she gets on here with that phony hello, because she hadn't said, she hadn't even whispered, are you still breathing to me since the day before, right? And so we talked about apologies. And I need to know, I need some feedback here, because I got on my text message and first of all, she threatened me.
I threatened you.
You did.
Don't start lying, Holton.
I'm not lying. Here it is. I don't know what it was, but anyway, she told me, you know what? And you can go do the show by yourself.
Oh yeah, I did say that.
Right.
Yeah.
You threatened me.
That wasn't a threat. That's a promise.
But see, those to your people, it's not about me, it's to the people. You were gonna let them down.
Since you know everything, you didn't need me to be on here.
And so what happens is this here. I get ready for the show. I'm like, she's not gonna show up. I'm gonna let the world know that she ain't showing up. I was not gonna make no excuse.
Your problem now. You're always talking about
business. I was not gonna say she's sick. She's not feeling good, because I keep it real. I'm gonna say, listen, she upstairs right now in her closet or in her bedroom right now. She's tripping. So Jolanda needs to text her. Kim needs to text her right now and get her down here. But that's okay. I can handle this show.
Both Jolanda and Kim are on my side. So
anyway, so, but I sent a text message. It was one of the best apologies that I have ever sent in my life, ever. It was well crafted. It was intentional. It covered all the points. And still to this day, she has not acknowledged my apology. And I need to know from the jury, is that correct?
Well, first of all, you grade your own test.
Okay, well, you tell them something.
First of all, you grade your own test. What did I tell you about grading your own test? You don't take the test and grade it too.
Okay, well,
so you need to ask me what did I feel about your apology?
I don't need to know, because you haven't responded. So I'm asking them.
I don't have to respond to your apology.
I don't want to know what you felt. I just wanted a response.
I don't have to respond.
You could have just said something. You could have said, you know what?
And you could have just not did what you needed to apologize for. How about that?
We didn't have a class about doing stuff. You taught a class and brought out an encyclopedia.
Well, I'm sick of you doing things
you brought out an encyclopedia of notes to talk about how to apologize.
Encyclopedia, that's what you're going to, because I was,
Well, a printed version of Google.
That was not a printed version of Google. I put those notes together. Don't try to minimize what I did.
No, I'm not minimizing. I'm maximizing it, because you brought out a lot.
Look at that show, because you still ain't learned anything. Because first of all, I don't have to accept your apology. I don't even have to acknowledge it. When you apologize, you do it for yourself. And so
that's why I was on the show.
No, it's a gift you give to the other person. You don't get to control how they respond or if they respond.
No, but I'm just saying.
I left you on red.
So that's how we doing it right now.
I mean, yep.
That's how we rolling in 2020.
No, because you know what, you just get out of hand sometimes, Holton. It's Father's Day. You thinking you rule the world, and so I you know what. I feel like you should appreciate me, because I'm the only person that can keep you in check. I'm just trying to keep you humble.
I'm humble.
No, you're not.
I got a humble spirit.
No,
I do.
No. Ask anybody.
You know what Tundi said? When you say ask anybody, it means that you're lying.
First of all, Tundi don't know what he's talking about. Okay?
When she says ask anybody, it means she's not telling the truth.
That's not true.
Okay, that's what it means. So
it's not true.
I just wanted to know from the people: is that right? Is it right to not
accept your apology? I don't even have to acknowledge your apology. You apologize because it's the right thing to do, honey.
Let me see if there's some questions coming in right now. But anyway, I just didn't think it was right. I didn't think that was.
I didn't think what you did to be. I'm sorry for was right. So, I mean, we have a lot in common, babe.
Okay. All right. Big spender alert.
Right.
Big spender alert. Oh my goodness. Sharon Anthony, 2,500 stars. She says, happy Father's Day, HB. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I'm telling you, we're going to feed some kids with that. We might be able to take those kids to Red Lobster.
Oh, wow. Red Lobster.
I'm telling you, right? But anyway, I'm just telling y'all how I feel about it. I didn't feel it was right, because if I left her on red, if that's the same, if I left her on red and I didn't call back, or if I didn't acknowledge, she'd be blowing my phone up. She would be disconnecting my number.
That's not true.
Yeah, you would.
No, it's not true.
Oh, you would. She would. But anyway, and what are the people saying here? Apologize. See, somebody says, I am humble. D said, I'm humble. And then they say, apologize, Ms. Bugs. Today is Father's Day. Fathers rule the world. She does have to accept it. That's what I'm talking. This is my day. Yes. Who else? Somebody says she doesn't. Nicole, she don't know what she's talking about. Nicole, sorry. She don't know what she's talking about. So anyway, what is she's no, Mr. Bug, it wasn't right. That's what they said, babe.
No.
Holton, wives do not understand the guy code. No, they don't. Well, I'm telling you, I know that. But anyway, so how are we gonna do this today? Is today we're gonna We're gonna celebrate. I know we're gonna celebrate Father's Day. Is it Father's Day over already?
Yeah, I mean, you've already been a brunch babe. Don't listen. Don't be the dead horse.
Okay.
Don't be the dead horse.
See, now we dead horses. You see, we dead horses already. Anyway, but no, thank you guys for the stars. We really appreciate it. Now, I think we may have some questions coming in. Let me see if we have some questions coming in now. I don't think we have any questions coming in right now. Now, but here's the thing. I want to let you guys know that we have one more show that we're going to do, and next week will be season 1 will be a wrap. Okay, season 1 will be a wrap, and we will count up all of our little pennies that we've got and see if there's enough budget for a season number 2. If we have enough,
we have to see if I'm going to rehire you, because I don't know, that contract might be a little.
So you're trying to say you want a new partner or something?
Yeah, I might have to replace you.
You're gonna have to replace me?
Yeah, I'm interviewing talent, so.
Well, it won't be from our home to yours. It'll be from my condo to y'all, because you're not doing it in my house. Or it'll be from my Airbnb. It'll be from my Airbnb to y'all. That's what it'll be.
I don't know if I want to extend your contract though.
I can tell you what, it just, anyway. But anyway, we've covered a lot of stuff this season.
Yes.
Matter of fact, we didn't even come on thinking it was going to be seasons. And we just started this call. For those of you on for the first time, we started this call. We wanted to just bring and give you guys a reset, or give you guys a chance to break away from a lot of what was taking place, especially when everybody was in quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who are still in quarantine right now. And obviously they're saying that there's a rise, an uptick in cases that are taking place. Obviously testing has been expanding, but a lot of places there's a big rise in testing that's taking place.
Right.
And what happened was people didn't really know how to process what was going on. Everybody's world was turned upside down, and everybody was saying the sky is going to fall, and
Jesus was coming back.
And yeah, no, that was him. He was coming back, right? It was the end of the world and all kind of stuff. And so we just saw an opportunity to bring some positivity and give you an opportunity to laugh, give you an opportunity to know us the way we really are. Because what you see on the screen is just who we are. It's how we roll. We've been together since she was 12 and I was 13. So we have grown each other for a long time. I won't tell you how old she is, but I'm 47. I'm not, you told me don't talk about your age.
You haven't learned anything.
What?
Because you still tell them, I mean, you didn't have to say your age.
I want to tell them.
Yeah, well,
the people needed to know.
Whatever, Holton.
So I'm 37. That means we've been together. So what? 34. I mean, I'm 47. We've been together 34 years, right? And you want to tell them about the time you broke up with me? You call yourself breaking up with me?
No.
Yeah, we were in high school.
No.
Yeah, you broke up with me.
Yeah, because you deserved it. And just like the other day, you want to talk about apologizing, but what did you do to be I'm sorry for?
You know, babe, I don't even remember what I did.
Yeah, because I was so much.
Because I was so engrossed in my sorrow.
You're lying.
I know I'm not.
You are lying.
No, I was so engrossed.
You don't even look sorry.
That was not in your your Google sheets that you.
Well, that's why I left you on red.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but we just we wanted to bring some positivity, and the next thing you know, we have some more unrest that took place. We've talked about finances. We've talked about relationships. We've talked about anything else we talked about that was
parenthood. We talked about
parenthood. We talked about just whatever you can, I guess, whatever you can think. We've talked about finances here. We've talked about, ownership. We talked about defunding racism. We've talked about, supporting and how to lend your support, how to think. We've talked about reducing your debt load, how to get your debt load reduced. We had a lot of people last week to do that, and who came back and told us that they actually followed those instructions. Hopefully you guys pass this stuff along, okay? But more importantly, we did this show for you guys, okay? And we didn't want to, we never came on saying, okay, here's what we're going to talk about, and except when we got to the apologies part, okay? But we didn't come on with a planned specific agenda. We didn't want to come preaching to you guys. We just wanted to come and really just talk to you and let you, see our flaws, because sometimes in our role or in our world, when the camera's on, and I'll be candid with you, when we put our cameras on, we don't want them showing the worst of us. When people put cameras on, we edit out whatever doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And when an Instagram post goes up, it's the best moment. Mm-hmm. So normally, pictures will, people take up 20 pictures just to post one. And I know I've been a cameraman and I've been fired. I was fired last week and I wanted to stay fired. I did not quit. You told me you fired me.
No. That was after you quit.
Okay, well, I never reapplied and you had me take pictures again.
Well, I mean, listen, do you want to be with me or not? Because that's part of the deal.
You know what? That was not a part of the contract.
Yes, that was part of the contract. Because why am I even on social media? Because you forced me to be.
But I'm not forcing you to stay on.
Oh, so I can get off now?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
You want to close that? We can do it right now. You want to close the account?
Yep.
In front of the world right now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We can close that account. That way I'm free. How many fellas out there? I want to know how many fellas out there, and maybe y'all don't have the courage to talk about it. How many of y'all feel pressure to, first of all, be in like 1,500 different takes of a selfie, and then you also have to be the cameraman and you got to do like 2,000. How many of you have ever felt like your phone was going to run out of film?
First of all, you do 2,000 takes, Holton. See, the exaggeration.
I'm just talking about how I feel.
You took 3 little photos.
3?
Yeah.
Hold on for a second. Give me this phone. Give me the phone. Give me the phone.
No.
Give me the phone. No. I'll show them. You'll see the same thing. The same photos.
3 photos. And
I took enough photos if you put them in order and roll like it'll look like a movie.
No, it won't.
No. Okay. Mm-mm. How many fellas have to do it? I'm just wondering. How many of y'all?
Well, I bet you other husbands love taking pictures of their wife. They're not complaining about it.
I didn't say I didn't like taking pictures. I said that there's something wrong with taking 2,000 photos.
First of all, you haven't taken 2,000 of anything.
Oh, Pete, and then it would be like, how's my earring?
Because if you
was this piece of hair, was it turned in this way? And was this eyelash curled up or to the side? And I'm like, nobody's looking at your eyelash.
People zoom in. I'm telling you, they zoom.
Oh my goodness.
They zoom in.
They zoom in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying because that's what I do. I zoom in. I mean, people zoom in. Y'all don't have enough to do. Y'all got too much time on y'all's hands. No, you need to go to some photography classes if you want to make this relationship work and get better at your job. See, now my fellas don't want to say anything now. They want to zip it right now. They want to just be quiet. Yeah, because they're smart and they want to have a happy Father's Day. Alfonso said, okay, unlike you. Alfonso is using somebody else's account. He says, this is Alfonso. Y'all shouldn't get in trouble today. It's like you got a free. You're gonna get in trouble today because you free day Father's Day. Nope. Right. All right. Some people have some questions. Let's see where the questions come from. I saw them up there. All right, that's Tundi right there. Okay. First question says, can we have a Spanish speaking session on bank accounts? Why should a woman have her own account? You need that in Spanish or English? Yeah, I want her to have all of her own accounts.
as long as my name is on them.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she can have as many accounts with her name on them as she wants, as long as HB is somewhere down there.
But everybody is not married, and then everybody is not necessarily in a traditional value type of household. People are different, and in some households, the woman is the one that's making the money and building a business. So why couldn't she have her own account?
Well, the question is, I'm not saying that she could or she couldn't. Talk about it. Talk about what those differences are. Talk about what you've seen, and maybe shed some light on it.
Well, I mean, I think if it's the question is, why do you want your own account? We have the type of relationship where we have been sharing finances for a very long time, since we were actually in our teens.
Because she didn't have any money when I met her.
And you didn't either.
I was just talking about you.
Yeah, well,
I wasn't talking about it.
Don't try to throw me under the bus, because you didn't have any money either. And so but some people do things a little bit differently in their households. They have separate accounts. They don't necessarily operate as a unit, and that, it's not for anybody to judge, because whatever works for your household is what you should be doing. But the question becomes, why do you want your own account? Mm-hmm. And if you are in a relationship with someone that can respect that difference,
right?
I mean, I'm not the type of person that wants my own account. Holton is actually one that's building the business. I'm more of the support role, and I'm okay with that. And so but there are women who it's important to them for them to have their own. If you're in a relationship, or you're maybe in your second marriage or even third marriage, or you've been in a financially abusive relationship before, where you want some autonomy over your finances, those are all legitimate reasons. So there's no right or wrong. It's just being able to communicate with your mate and having those needs met and respected even. So,
well, you know what I think is would be a good conversation to bring up on that. Mm-hmm. You remember the conversation that we had, that it was a very, very serious, not serious, but it was I took it serious, a conversation that we had about, your level of comfort of having something for yourself.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Bring it up. Talk about that.
Okay, well.
And I'll talk about my part after you finish.
Well, we had a very close friend. It all started because we had a very close friend after, more than 2 decades of marriage. They were going through a divorce, and it was a very painful divorce. And it just, some of my other, and there were a lot of, how do I want to say this? There were a lot of things that took place that I didn't necessarily agree with. Let me say it that way. Mm-hmm. And, she was in a vulnerable position because, they had built an enterprise together, and she had nothing of her own. So when they went through this horrific divorce, she was left at the mercy of the court, because, she just didn't have any control over the finances or anything like that. So, it got me to thinking, I'm in that same situation. If you came home one day and told me you was running off with some 26-year-old, honey,
why does it always?
Well, I'm just saying it happens now. It happens. I mean, and
maybe
so
I'm just tired of taking selfies.
No, people don't get divorced over selfies. So, I kind of felt like, here I am. I've been in this same relationship since I was 12 years old. I don't even know if I would even know how to date anybody else or how to meet other people. So I started feeling some kind of way, like, if this were me, and God forbid, I mean, not just a divorce, that's very horrific, but even something were to happen to my husband, what would I do? And so, I went to, I remember we were with another group of friends, and we had gone to dinner one day. And so me and my other friend at the time, we brought it up at dinner. And so it became this big argument, because you were totally offended.
I was offended.
I mean, but why?
Because I was offended that you would even verbalize the notion of the thought that I would have treated you the way your friend was treated when it came to finances. Number one, I already told you, if you ever think about leaving me, I'm coming with you. So Wherever you go, I'm
That's
going.
not how it works.
That's
but,
how it
okay.
works, right? So, but it made me feel like she thought that there was a chance that I would do the same thing, or that I could even, not that I would. It made me feel that she thought that there was a possibility that I would. And so I was offended. I was really offended.
Okay,
yes.
so do you honestly think that my friend thought that her husband would ever do something like that? I'm pretty sure she felt that that she never would have been in the situation where she had to worry about her finances or
but that was
concerned about anything.
But she knew who she was married to. She knew, and we're not getting into those details. She knew who she was married to, and I believe she knew because of the nature of how everything else went in that relationship.
No, I don't feel that she felt that she would have been in the situation that she was in. And I don't know, my heart broke for her. My heart still breaks for her and for every woman in this world who is like her, that goes into a marriage, giving their all and completely unprotected, financially, depending on, their husband to do the right thing, or significant other to do the right thing. And then all of a sudden the relationship ends and it's like, now I got to be worried about money. So it was important to me for me to have my own money because, first of all, I'm a grown ass woman. Excuse me, it's Sunday.
And it's Father's Day.
Oh, well, I mean, still.
Okay.
I'm grown on Sundays too and on Father's Day. So okay. I feel like it's not necessarily a bad thing for me to want to have my own, and it's not a reflection on, I mean, you're a great man. I would never take that away from you. You've been taking care of me since I was 12 years old. I'll never be able to say thank you enough. I know thank you is not adequate. I always give you acknowledgement and gratitude for that because you deserve that. But people do change, Holton. I mean, the world is,
right. No, you don't have to sell me on it now. I understand.
Well, okay. Now. So let me, what was your process? Because didn't you have to get some mentoring?
Hold on. Let me just tell my own story.
But tell the people how you
and
your other friend jumped all over me and my other friend at the table.
Yeah, we did. We jumped up. Yeah, it was. We were about to turn the table over. We was about to turn it over because it was also the energy that came along with the notion of what we would do. And it almost became like, this is what guys do, blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. So I took it some kind of way because I know how I provide it. I'm not just talking about money, but money is, one thing, but I'm just talking about from who I am and who she is to me, regardless of what took place. I knew in my heart that there, it wouldn't have been no negotiation of, okay, let me tell you, let's negotiate on what you're going to get. No, what we have, we built it together because we both, I think I had $1 when we got together. She had 98 cents. So I had $2 more than you, 2% more. So I think I should get 2% more now. That'd be a lot.
Don't push it, Holton.
Okay.
Anyway. Go ahead with the story.
So I just felt that way now. And I felt that way for a while. And I felt that way for a little bit more. And so this thing is bugging me. This thing is really agitating me in my mind of, I can't believe she think I'm so you want your own money now. And then we had a conversation. And then she said something about if something was to happen, I want the house. I'm like, hold on for a second. Where is all of this coming from? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
I remember that.
These are new facts being admitted into evidence.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Come on, Judge Judy. Yes. I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? So I'm taking offense to this, right? And so I had a chance to sit down with my mentor, Bishop T.D. Jakes. So I'm sitting down and we're at lunch and
you were at lunch? I thought you called him.
No, I'm sitting down with him at lunch in Dallas. Took him to lunch. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Pops, hey, listen, I got a question for you. and I asked the question, how should I feel? This is how I feel. Am I right in feeling this way, or should I feel some kind of way that's different? And I was glad I asked the question, because I had never had that question come up. And so often people try to answer questions that they've never even had to answer before,
right,
or that have never been asked of them before. And that's where a lot of big mistakes come. So before I just really stayed in my feelings, because it bugged me for so long, I went and got counsel on it. And he explained to me, yeah, you're completely wrong for how you feel. And you know what? Yeah, he says, you're completely wrong. And she's completely right. And the way he verbalized it, if you ever have a chance to have a mentoring session with him, you know, the examples that he give are so vivid, and it makes you understand just like this.
I love him. He's such a smart man.
So, you know, right there during lunch, after lunch, I understood. And you know, one of the things I don't do with my coaches and mentors is I don't argue back and forth. I don't try to force them to see my side. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is, if I've got to force the mentor to see my side, I've already chosen somebody who doesn't know me, or who's incapable of mentoring me. And normally when you're forcing and selling your story, it's because you're selling them to agree with you instead of submitting to them to get the proper advice. Right. So when he says something to me, I listen. There's no back and forth. The only back and forth is when I'm asking other questions to gain more clarity. And once I got that clarity and I listened to him, I put it up. I was completely honest with him. I told him everything, completely transparent. Yeah, you're dead wrong. She's dead right.
Why did he say you were wrong and I was right?
He said, because, you know, and here's what he said. And I'll just give you the exact words of what he said. He said, so often, he says, us men, we make decisions as men. And these are his words. And don't take this as a graphic standpoint. Just take this for what it is, for him to put the picture in my head. He said to me, he said, you've been in this relationship for so long, you don't know what it feels like to be on the bottom.
Well.
And so he used those terms. Why? Because, you know, we're not in this 3 John verse 2 mentoring session. We're in man-to-man, real-to-real conversation, and he gives it so that I could understand it, and gives it in relatability because it's real. And when he said it, I knew exactly what he meant. And I could, not only that I could understood it, I now had sympathy for her level of insecurity, because I could feel what that's like. Is I don't know what that's like. Using a different analogy to draw towards this. And so I came back, we had a conversation, and I said, here's what we're going to do, and here's what we're going to set up. You go set up your own account somewhere, and here's how much we'll put into it every single month. It's yours. Do whatever you want to do. My recommendation, don't spend it all.
Well, I still haven't got my debit card, so I don't know what to say to that. You haven't kept up your end of the bargain.
No, I have kept up my end of the bargain.
Where's my debit card?
We talked. Don't put people in our business right here.
Don't put the people. You're the one who brought this conversation up.
You already
don't
know.
Put the people in our business.
What did the CPA say? She said, our tax person, you don't give her a debit card. Just keep it. You know how we have to do this stuff. So it's there. She knows it's there. And ask her, does she spend it?
I didn't spend one single dime of it.
Because you keep spending my money.
Well, yeah, that's how it goes.
Or no, listen, she has her own. I don't have my own.
You don't have your own?
No, I don't.
How are you buying your toys you've been buying lately?
From the U account.
Oh, okay.
You know, so anyway.
I mean, I love how you can justify when you want to go out and buy something. But okay, so
I was right.
So I was right.
You were,
Yeah,
it
I
was,
right.
it was,
It's okay to say the word.
you were justified in your reasons. So you were, I don't think it's a matter of right and wrong, but you were right.
Well, in this case, I was right.
Yeah,
You were wrong.
I was wrong.
Yeah, you were dead wrong.
I was dead wrong.
Dead wrong.
Yep. Yeah.
How does that feel? To say those words.
It feels liberating. It feels liberating. I don't have a problem saying I was wrong.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem.
Yeah, but if looks could have killed in that restaurant, he wanted to choke me out. I'm telling you.
I did. I wanted to choke her out because I told you I was just like, but I also wanted her to know that that's hers. I don't need whatever she wants to do with it. She wants to donate all of it to me. She can do that if she wanted to. It don't matter. Okay. But I mean, I was so strong in my emotions about it, but because I sought counsel and talked to someone who had more wisdom than I had, and that I trusted their ability to tell me the truth, regardless of whether I liked it or not, I was more convicted leaving the conversation of how fast I need to do it. So the proper counsel put me in reverse in the same, if not a higher speed.
So hopefully that's your answer to the person who asked that question. I would most certainly seek some mentorship, because every relationship is different. We've already established that, and it's not up to anybody to decide for you how to set up the confines of your relationship. That's a personal choice. At the same time, when you are at a stalemate in a relationship with a pretty big decision, I think it's always wise to seek counsel. And that's what I really appreciated about Holton, because, it was something that was really important to me, because, and here's the other thing about that. I felt like you took it personal because, you have always, I mean, our ends didn't just meet, they were crossing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I even can understand from your perspective why you would be offended by that, because you have given me everything I've ever dreamt of. And so, from in that standpoint, okay, I get it. The other side of it also is that, I had to give up a lot too to be in this position and to be that support person. So some of the things that I wanted to do, I had to sacrifice. As we all make sacrifices. So and especially for the really big things, you're going to sacrifice a lot. For the number one lifestyle in the world. It doesn't come because we want it. It only comes because we work for it and we sacrifice for it. So I just wanted something of my own that, I didn't want to feel like if I wanted to go out and do something or invest in something else or some type of business or just whatever I wanted to do, that I always had to be subject to you in a way. I mean, it's not, I don't want you to take that personal, but I wanted to be able to make my own decisions. And, just like you do a lot of investing and a lot of other things has nothing to do with me or my opinion about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's a healthy relationship. That's a healthy financial partnership where, we all should be free to pursue to a certain degree the things that we want to do. But if you're at a stalemate, seek some counseling from somebody that you respect and that you trust.
But I also want to clarify, like I said, my frustration was not how dare her try to have her own money. My frustration was there would be no contest in my mind. There would not have even be a need for a lawyer if something happened in our relationship, because I don't feel like just because I am the lead and I have been the person from a business standpoint to develop the things that we have, I don't feel like, okay, well, I deserve more of it. I've never felt that way. We've been together since you were 12 and I was 13.
Right.
So I always felt like this was a 50-50 proposition, period, in terms of, but I never even thought about that. But if something did happen, that's the way I felt. So that was the reason that I felt, taken aback, because not because you want to have your own, because I'm like, you already got it. You're asking, so it's like, maybe you don't believe that that's me or whatever. So
No, I understand that.
That's what it was.
I mean, there was something for us both to learn and to take from that situation. And here's the other thing, people. We all get it wrong sometimes. Okay, listen, you are not going to have a successful relationship of any kind and always get everything 100% right.
Right.
We get it wrong, we screw up. The question is, have you built the capacity to put the needs, the desires, and the well-being of your mate ahead of your ego?
Right.
That's a tough one, because the ego wants to prevail at all costs. And there have been so many relationships that have been lost because we don't have the right capacity to care, to put somebody else's well-being ahead of our need to fill our ego. And, you know, and that's the thing that I admire and appreciate about you, because that's the point of seeking counseling, because you're putting the relationship first.
Yeah, you have to value your relationship no different than if you're the CEO of a major corporation. Okay. And let's say you're the CEO of some huge technology or huge retail chain, and you're thinking about making some major change, and it possibly has an effect on your customers, which will have an effect on your bottom line and your shareholders.
Okay.
Would you seek advice? Of course you would. Well, that's why those people are successful. It's not because they get there on their own. They get there because they have a lot of advice that they seek. Legal advice, financial, political advice in terms of what's the political climate's going to be like. So there's so many different, and that's why they have board of advisors. What happens so often in relationships is that we devalue relationships because they're so emotional, and we place a higher value on businesses because they're tangible. When if you didn't have the emotional relationship, most of us, specifically most men, you wouldn't have the corporate business or corporation that you have, not to that degree.
Right.
So what comes first? Okay. Does it come first that I'm the greatest athlete in the world, or does it come, or the fact that I have breath, that I can breathe? See, if I couldn't breathe, then I couldn't be a world-class athlete, because I'd be gone. So if I didn't, so why would I take the time to seek all of this advice about a corporation? Because it's going to affect the profits and affect my clientele or my customer base, whereas certain things in my relationship are going to affect the climate in this relationship, or at home, which is the foundation for all success. It should be anyway. So you should seek advice before damaging that, and place a higher value on keeping that than just the business alone.
But people do get it twisted.
Yeah,
all the time.
And I didn't always have that, by the way. So that wasn't always something that I've done. I grew up with this mentality: ain't no man gonna tell me what to do in my house with my wife, and that was when I was, young and dumb. Yeah, it was just, so I had to learn my way out of a bad habit. Why? Because I didn't grow up with mentors around. I didn't see the value of mentorship and seeking counsel on certain things.
Well, and the other thing is, how do you evaluate who to seek counseling from? Because people will seek counseling, but if you seek counseling from someone who has the same as you, or less than you, or maybe only a little bit more than you.
Well, it all depends on what you're seeking counsel for. Okay. And it's not necessarily about who has the most all the time. And the reason I say that is, Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever, if that was the case, he shouldn't have sought counsel at all, because nobody was better than him.
Well,
but he
maybe,
did.
well, maybe not being a better basketball player, but most certainly probably being a great coach.
Right. Well, no, but what I'm saying is he sought counsel on how to be the best basketball player.
Better. Oh.
So if I'm seeking counsel on how to be the best, networker in business, I don't have to seek it from somebody who's greater than me. I mean, Lisa's one of my really good friends, and I seek counsel from her all the time. She earns a lot. She earns millions of dollars a year, but she's never been at my same earning capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But her coaching to me was just as valuable as the way I see somebody coming to me for coaching.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, but I mean, okay. So how does a person know if they're going to the right person for counseling?
Okay. Number one, the habits that person have that I'm seeking counsel from, can I duplicate their habits in my life? Can I? Mm-hmm. Okay. Number two, do I have a feeling that person has a vested interest in my success purely for my success or for my benefit? Okay. If I feel that the reason for the engagement is for their glory, mm-hmm. I'm hesitant.
Okay.
Or if the reason for it is for me to pay homage to them, mm-hmm. or I now need to lift them up or introduce them or connect them in some kind of way, mm-hmm. that may be an ulterior motive, And the third thing is, do you see fruit on the tree?
Right. That's the most important.
Okay. The things that you want from them, have they duplicated those type of results in the lives of other people that you can point to and say, they did it for her, they did it for her, they did it for him, they did it for him, they do it for her, mm-hmm. they can do it for me.
Right.
They don't have to be the best or better than you at.
Mm.
Because some people are really innately good at being able to see you, connect with you, and lead you to a place of advice because they're just excellent at communication and they're their own expert in what it is that they do. Now, sometimes you're better at communicating how to do something than you are at physically doing it. Take a basketball coach. Mm-hmm. Take Jeff Van Gundy. Never played professional basketball, but he has an understanding of the game. He studied the game. He's been around the best. He's watched some of the best players. And so his level of communication and intelligence of the game allows him to communicate to someone who has talent on how to get a better result than he can get if he was in their same position. So it doesn't mean that he's a hypocrite.
Well, the reason why I'm asking that question, because typically when we want to seek financial advice or relationship advice, or mm-hmm. we go to our neighbor, or maybe to our best friend, or the group of people that we hang out with, and quite honestly, a lot of times those people are on the same level. They have the same challenges. I love one of your most famous quotes and most significant quotes to me was when you say you go to someone who has your answer and not your problem.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes our circle and the people that we seek advice from is an issue because in your case you're associating with someone that's on the same or higher level just in their own profession and that has more years of experience, mm-hmm. A vast experience coaching and mentoring people, so that makes sense.
Right.
But if I were having a challenge, and I, my best friend and I, we have a lot of the same experiences. She might not be the right person for me to go to seek certain counseling from. And
that's true, because you should not confuse proximity, okay, with competency. I've never been a pastor at a church. I don't even go to church a lot, but I've helped pastors build churches. Why? Because I understand what's required to move a body of people voluntarily, and I know how to communicate it and give them the tools to do that. In terms of them now taking the nuances of whatever it is in terms of preaching and speaking and book signing and all, I don't need to know all of that. The main part of their job is communication.
Right.
And having a voluntary army who's going to go out there and bring more people to that environment called a church.
Right.
So I was
very similar to what we do.
Right. So I didn't need to. So that one would say, well, why would you go to a person who's not a pastor? It was no different. One of the reasons ibuumerang started as well is when I got frustrated about 6 months or 8 months prior to ibuumerang starting, I went to TD Jakes and told him how frustrated I was with my with the opportunity, the company that I was in. And he simply said, you need to he told me this, he says, go to them, strike up a deal, whereas you now can be in a position where nobody can clip your wings, because what you are an eagle, but you've got a large cage that you're flying in, but it's still a cage. And that was when he told me as well. Remember, he said, when you make decisions, because this is an important decision, do not make this decision as a 45-year-old. You need to make this decision as a 55-year-old. Because when you make this decision, the time that it takes to realize the majority of the fruit that comes from it, it's going to be 10 years down the road. And so if you're making this decision as a 45-year-old, you're already old, you're already too late. And so I'm like, okay, let me start planning for how I want to be at 55. Where do I still want to be dealing with that? He could spell MLM.
But he understands business, right. And more importantly, he understands people.
He understands people. He understands thought process, and he also, like you say, he understands business. So right. He has fruit on the tree.
Right.
And has he given others advice in business? Yes. Do I believe he wants success for me? And does he want a piece of it? No, he never asked for any credit. That's one of the reasons we get along together, is because he says, you don't want anything from me, and I don't want anything from you. Where most people who come around, hey, could you get me on MegaFest? Could you get me, could you connect me? And I've never asked him for anything.
Right.
So, so that's how that works. I think we got 2 more minutes. Oh, we're done. Let's answer these last questions here. Okay. Well, I think this was good though.
Yeah, it was good.
It was really good. What is a typical weekend for the two of you? What are your hobbies? How do you stay married for 34 years?
We haven't been married for 34 years.
It's been, we've been together for 34 years.
Right. We've only been married for 27 years. This year will be 27. 27. Okay, cool. No, it'll be 26. No. We got married in 2000.
No.
What time? No. When did we get married?
No. 2000. No.
90. I forget the year.
You don't forget?
No, we were 20.
Oh, you don't forget?
No, but we were 20.
Oh, you don't forget?
We were 20.
You don't forget?
So it's 27 years because we're both
27
47.
years. Okay, 27 years. So now this is how you stay. This is how you stay married for 27 years. You don't try to stay married for 27 years. You get married, and what you do is you complete a year, and then you say, we're going to do this year over, but we're going to make it a little bit better. And then the next year you say, you know what, we're going to do this year over, but we're going to do it a little bit better. And then we're going to do this year over, and we're going to try to go back and make it like our first year because we went down. And then you were going to go back and you just keep it 1 year at a time. Don't think 25 years out ahead. Typical weekend for the two of us, it's nothing typical about our weekends. Just be
nothing
candid.
Typical about our lives.
Yeah.
Period.
So, what are your hobbies? You want to tell them your hobby?
I'm a really big shopper. I'm a fashion addict. So I love to shop. Another hobby, I'm an avid reader. I love to decorate. So I'm really into home design and things like that. And I like to hang out with my friends.
Hobbies for me is I love for me business is business, but it's also a hobby. I love doing it. So this is why we're where we are now, because I'm frustrated because I can't be around other people. I gotta hurry up, start being around people. That's what I love to do. So it's not like business to me. Also, I got a new hobby that I love, and it's sniper shooting, and I love it now. I do. Golf is one of them as well. So,
And you're a really good bowler too, baby.
yeah, but I don't do it. I don't do it a lot. I don't do it a lot. I use that for competition. So like when people like Sam Bean, come over to the house, or Rod or something like that, or Emmanuel, it's always or Ed, it's competition. So I always have to have something that I beat up on. But, Lisa Bullock says, "Don't you dare close your account." When I said you want to close your Facebook or your Instagram account.
And you put me on. Now you're kicking me off.
I'm not kicking you off. No, I said I'm not pressuring you to keep it.
You need to get better at taking pictures.
No. You need to hire. You need to stimulate the economy and hire you somebody to walk around with a camera and say cheese.
No. Why am I married to you then? You need to go take a photography course and get better at your job that I'm paying you to do.
Not doing it. Lisa McKenzie, how often should you have a budget meeting and what topics should you cover? Good question. I think you should have budget meetings depending on what your finances are and what y'all arrangements. You can't have them too often. You couldn't have them too often. So don't be afraid to have them often until you feel like you got a hold of it, got a handle of it, and have a system. And what should the topics be? Number one, the things that are happening, the things that you want to see, that you want to do more of, and the things that you would like to see that should change. And that can go a variety of ways. All of the goals and dreams and all that stuff that you guys want to accomplish should be in there as well. Donna Cutelli, if you were single, what would some good questions that you would ask on a date to see if your date is personally developed? What's your credit score? What's your social security? No, just kidding. Anyway.
What do you have on your night table? Like what books are you reading? And what are your hobbies? And maybe even a 5-year plan. Like what do you see for the future?
Yeah. See, what you do is you don't want to do it where they see you testing them.
Or it's like an interview.
Yeah, like an interview. Start talking about a book that you read. And you know what? I don't want to hog up the conversation. What's one of the most interesting books you've read?
You sure you don't want to hog up the conversation?
See, I'm trying to answer.
I'm just asking.
I'm trying to finish this thing.
I'm asking for a friend, so you don't want to hog up the conversation? It's Father's Day, so I'm gonna let you make it.
You ruined my Father's Day already.
I did not.
You did. So just when you finish, you can ask questions like that. And things that you are going to do for personal development, invite them and see if they would be willing to come. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Just because they have not been into personal development doesn't mean they're not a good candidate.
True.
For you. It means that they may not have understood the need for it. They may not have been introduced to it. They may, to be candid, not even understand that it exists. Do you know how many people out there who think that the way that they are, they want to get better, but they don't know and understand in a connection of what that environment of personal development is really like. They just don't know sometimes. So just see if there's a willingness for them to learn. Never force it on them. If you force personal development on someone, they will always reject it. Give them an opportunity. Give them an opportunity to be in the environment and see if they stick and stay. What do you say about that?
Well, yeah, and I think more important, the most important thing is you knowing who you are and what you want. Because a lot of times I feel like we choose as we are. And so the better you get at being an authentic individual and understanding your wants, needs, and desires, I think you will find your way in a conversation when you're dating. And I don't think it needs to be an interview or an interrogation, if you will. It just, you know, it's just conversation. And I would try to be as non-judgmental as possible, because a person has to feel like they can be themselves and tell the truth about a lot of things. So, but the best gift you can give to any situation is authenticity.
Right. That's true. Yeah. One last question here is Michelle says, how did you manage to stay together during the times when you did not have wealth? We have always had wealth. We just didn't always have money.
I love that, honey.
Always, always, always.
I love that.
So we never measured our wealth by just the finances. We always felt we were lucky. We always felt we were rich. We always felt loved. We always felt we were friends. We always felt a sense of peace. And that's just because of who we chose to be as people ourselves. We never felt we were perfect. We always felt, and still to this day, feel like we have a long way to go, and that there was a lot of room for improvement in every aspect of our lives, specifically hers. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
that
kidding.
Was your last
That's
one for Father's
just
Day
kidding.
is over.
Just kidding.
Okay.
And and when money, listen, the biggest thing about money is that we have now is that we don't have to fuss over the lack of it anymore. It hasn't changed us whatsoever in terms of made us this different type of person. It's given us tools to do the things that we like. So some of the things that we like that bring us pleasure, we're able to now have that pleasure at a higher level. So if we go stay at a hotel, we can stay at one that we're going to have 24-hour room service. We can stay at one that they'll know our names. When we come up, they're going to know our names. When we walk down the hallway to our doors, we know that anybody who's a service person is going to step to the side and greet us instead of continue pushing their cart and say, excuse me, like they did when we was at the Super 8 hotel. If we want to have a rental car, we're going to have a nicer one. That's what the money has done for us. It allows us also to bless some other folk. It also can be a challenge because we've had people target us, and they still target us, to take money away from us. Okay. And so that's why we had to grow into the people that we are. So we stayed together, grew together into the people that we are. And now we're able to multiply that money, and we understand that it becomes a tool. Money is just a tool for us. It's not the thing that makes us happy. It is not.
Well, I mean, and I think for me, even when we didn't have, I don't know, I feel like we always lived in the future.
Mm-hmm.
We always lived in our dreams as if we did have. So once the money showed up, it was very natural. It wasn't anything to get used to. And I think we have always had a really good foundation with the two of us and our relationship and the things that we wanted. We've always known who we wanted to be principle wise. Mm-hmm. And so, that's been an advantage because, part of the journey of life is figuring out who you want to be. So the sooner and what you want to do with your life. So the sooner you figure that out, the more of an advantage you have. So, I mean, that's just,
yeah. I think it's been great. Last question is, Mrs. Bugs, I just want to be very candid with you. I love your hair. It is gorgeous, but oftentimes you're too hard on Mr. Bugs. I think he deserves a pass, and whatever he needs today, you should make sure that all of his needs are met with the highest degree, run out of time, to the highest degree and specificity of his request. And that came, I can't even tell the person's name, but thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time right now. Thank you for that question. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the stars. This has been that was the best comment that anybody could make.
Who was it?
It was, somebody's calling right now. My son is just now calling me for Father's Day. I shouldn't even answer the phone. The day's almost over. They talk about Mother's Day now.
Well, he's in California.
I don't want to hear. She always make excuses for him. I love you guys. Y'all stay safe out there. Stay smart, and we can't wait to see you. Remember, next Sunday will be our last call. Let's make it a big one. Invite somebody. You will be glad you did. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Happy Father's Day.